Come, take a look at this. Do you think I'm in Guilin, China? How about this place? Am I in a forest in Borneo? Let's see if you can get it this time. Where do you think I'm at? Very nice views here, don't you think? Hello property enthusiasts, it's me Jessica again. Today in the 7th episode of my series on the most sought after Heartland districts, we tour around a district that has all these beautiful nature sceneries right here in Singapore. Welcome to Bukit Panjang. So Bukit Panjang is a town here towards the central west in Singapore. It's a relatively new town, so like many new towns, this place has become highly urbanized. But although this neighbourhood looks like there's nothing here but a sea of flats and a few malls, Bukit Panjang really maintains a connection to nature. This is because we are bordered by the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve to the south and the Central Water Catchment Area to the east. And within this neighbourhood itself, there are nature spots too. But before I continue to show you more, can I request that you subscribe to my channel? Because sadly, 90% of you aren't subscribed yet. This means that you'll be missing out on my subsequent content that will interest you just like this one. Do me a favor and click on the subscribe button and the notification bell, okay? Anyway, back to the tour with a bit of the history of this place first. Bukit Panjang's name came from the Malay term long hill. This long hill actually refers to the range of low hills in the area that stretches from here to the south to Bukit Timah. Prior to urban development, Bukit Panjang consisted of rural settlements that had developed along Bukit Timah Road in the early 1900s. The area was also home to industrial enterprises such as granite quarries, the Lamsun Canning and Rubber Factory, and the Nanyang Shoe Factory. In addition, land in the area was used for agricultural purposes, with one notable example being the cold storage dairy farm, hence the name Dairy Farm that you see south of here. Opened in around 1930, the farm manufactured locally produced fresh milk and ice cream. It ceased operations in the 1970s. Another interesting fact is that half a century ago, people commuting to Bukit Panjang did so in a bus operated not by SBS Transit but by the Green Bus Company. They would pass by dense forests, polluting factories and rows of shophouses where Junction 10 stands currently. Today, residents here are served by a convenient transport system with the MRT, LRT, and buses. So, why do people love to set up their home here in Bukit Panjang? I reckon there are three main reasons. First, staying in Bukit Panjang is really about the nature. Most long residents wouldn't know the existence of this small park that's situated just behind the mall, called the Pang Shua Pond. I hope I didn't mispronounce the name. The main draw for this place is the 480-meter boardwalk that's especially popular among fur kids owners. Here, we can see residents jogging and walking. And there are viewing decks that lend a panoramic view of the water body, along with a stage for performances and community events by the water. And when it's night time, this place has yet another look, a great IG-worthy place for both day and night. Don't you think? Further towards the edge of the town is Zhenghua Nature Park. Now, honestly, if not for my producer and the team researching on this place, I never knew that this place existed. It's roughly the size of 16 football fields and stretches along a good length of the BKE. And since it's hidden all the way to the edge of the township, you feel like you're in the wild, even though we're just next to rows of HDB flats. Next up, if we trek further south, we come to an underpass that leads us to the Chestnut Nature Park. Now, this is starting to get ulu, because you don't have proper paved roads here. My crew also didn't dare to venture too deep because they weren't properly attired. So these are all the shops you'll see of this place. But the epitome of all nature trails in Singapore has to be the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. For hikers, this is where they get to hike to Singapore's tallest hill, Bukit Timah Hill, where 40% of the country's flora and fauna are found. And the lucky residents of Bukit Panjang have access to all the parks at this reserve, including Hang Hidi Nature Park. Again, I've never heard of this place until the production of this episode, where I find a hidden gem. Right here, we have the Hang Hidi Quarry, which is pretty similar to Little Guilin in Bukit Batok. And it's better for walkers and joggers here because the trails are paved and they're relatively easy even for people like me who just ain't that fit anymore. Anyway, I'll leave you with some more scenes of the nature you can find here and near Bukit Panjang. Second plus point of staying here, the malls. Right next to Bukit Panjang LRT stations are two rather well-designed and well-stocked malls. First, you have Bukit Panjang Plaza, or BPP as locals love to call it. This mall has everything you need, like plenty of restaurant choices, a fair price supermarket, and tons of snack stalls. Also, the neighbourhood library is here too, and interestingly, this library has two separate entrances for adults and kids. On weekday lunch hours, you'll probably find many uniformed personnel from the nearby MINDEF having their lunch breaks here too. Opposite BPP is Heartland Mall, which is interconnected to the MRT, LRT and bus interchange. This mall is much newer, and again, you won't finish trying out all the restaurants here because there are just so many choices. This place is also where you'll find quite a number of tuition and enrichment centres. Now, a fun fact. Heartland Mall is kind of special because after each of my real estate exams, my hubby and I will come here to have lunch, each time wondering if I would pass. But thankfully, I didn't need to come here too many times for this reason. We are still not done with the malls because opposite the road is Junction 10. Now, for some reason, this mall never really took off. I remember when it was still 10 Mile Junction, it was a dead place. Today, aside from some of the restaurants and Sheng Siong supermarket which still have crowds, somewhat, the traffic here is still much lesser compared to the other two malls. Perhaps it's due to the feng shui of the LRT travelling into the building. Next, we go to somewhere more local, the Bukit Market. This place was renovated in 2017 with a canopy built between two rows of shop houses so that store owners and shoppers can walk about without being directly under the sun or rain. For some reason unknown to me, this place is named as Bukit Art Street. I can't find any art here, though this place retains its vibrancy and friendliness. Perhaps you can share with me if you know why this place is called as such. Lastly, beside the market is the Bukit Panjang Hawker Centre. When it was first built, residents could find this unique design that, according to the architects, was conceptualized from the literal translation of Bukit Panjang, or a long spread of hill. As such, it features an undulating roof form that parallels the terrain of Bukit Panjang. Whatever that means. But interestingly, inside the food centre, we can find signs everywhere that kind of reminds me of Hong Kong. Third reason, and I reckon, is because of the flags here that attract people to set up their homes here. One thing is the design. HDB architects actually went out of their way to put out unique features for flags here so that they stand out from flags in other towns. Like the ski slope flags at Potong Pasir I showcased 2 episodes ago, the unique feature is the HDB blocks here with varying heights. Stepped every 4 to 6 floors, the design of these blocks resembles the terraces of paddy fields in Bali. Last thing I want to show you, especially if you are driving, is this. Would you want to leave your car to be parked by an automated parking system? Here, beside the Bukit Market, one of 3 mechanized parking systems implemented in 2015. It looks quite weird with a thin tower standing here, which is actually a tower parking system. I leave you to have a view of how your car is being parked automatically. Speaking of properties, aside from the unique design, another plus point would be the price here. Yes, Bukit Panjang is next to Bukit Timah, but the flats and condos here are priced more reasonably here. Let's look at a new property development in Bukit Panjang, which is scheduled to be TOP in Q3 2027. The Arden, a 99-year leasehold condominium, is a low-density development of 105 units only and is about 1.48 km away from Bukit Panjang MRT. All its 2-bedroom units are sold, leaving only 3 and 4-bedroom units. A 3-bedroom unit of about 1,012 square feet will cost around 1.8 million. For a freehold 3.5-storey inter-terrace, it's 1,615 square feet with 5 bedrooms. Well renovated with move-in condition and a future Brickland MRT station, which is across the road in 2030, this house can be a great investment for 4.2 million. How about a 5i HDB but comes with 4 bedrooms? Renovations have been done tastefully to this unit about 2 years ago. You just need to move in with all your luggage. Mid-floor corner unit with an unblocked view, this 1,313 square feet unit can be yours at 828,000. Nested in an exclusive and prestigious enclave surrounded by many good-class bungalows, Cashew Green is set within the vicinity of Dairy Farm Nature Park, Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, and the Central Catchment Nature Reserve. The German European School and Singapore American schools are close by too. With 5 bedrooms within 6,900 square feet, you can imagine how huge one bedroom can be. The house is going for an asking rental price of 23,000. Or will you pay around 12 million to buy it as a 999 leasehold house? From the super huge house, we now look at a one-bedder 614 square feet condominium unit which is located next to Bukit Panjang shopping mall and MRT. With the convenience given, it's perfect for singles or a couple at a palatable rental price of 3,200 per month. Of course, there's also the HDB option. If you do not need facilities and the prestige that comes with a private property, you can always get one higher HDB unit for a reasonable price. Check out this 5-room HDB unit. When we say 5-room HDB, note that it is only 3 bedrooms though. With Bukit Panjang MRT about 370 meters away, this only costs $3,600. So what do you think of Bukit Panjang? Although this is quite a small town seemingly filled with blocks after blocks of flats and some private condos, you'll be surprised at how close to nature you will be after staying here. I mean, I am after doing this episode. And perhaps one day I'll come back here again to conquer one of the nature trails. But if you wish to take a look at some of the properties here, feel free to contact me and I can show you around this neighbourhood. Regardless, if you have found this video entertaining, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, especially if this is your first time visiting. Be sure to get notified of any new content by hitting the bell button as well. Lastly, remember that for personalized advice on anything property related, partner with me on your property journey. I'm Jessica and I'm just a WhatsApp away to getting your dream home in Singapore. I look forward to seeing you again in our next episode. Bye!